If it wasn't for agents, astroturfing farms, military intelligence, Jesuit Catholic coadjutors, and the ungodly depraved heathen, Twitter, and social media, wouldn't have anyone on it. This is simple piece of comedy, whereas, it centers on the artificial popularity to keep the deceit of COVID alive, to keep people believing in a fraudulent virus. Yes, the virus that has never once been isolated or purified, nor has it been isolated or purified by any independent lab or study group. Seth MacFarlane is the pervert, atheist, propagandist, who was the poster boy for the depraved TV-centric show called Family Guy. A television show for the dumbing down of the gullible masses. He, like all the rest of Satan's and Rome's controlled quacks, has recently been given the cue to come off the bench onto the field to peddle more lies, and next week it will be someone else the gullible masses blindly follow to their own destruction. Simply scanning through the comments on the total information awareness propaganda site called Twitter, used for social engineering, behavior modification and perception management, for psychological and spiritual warfare, you will notice a few things within the context of this so-called long COVID, and these patterns will be illustrated in opposition of a simple comment found in the feed, as highlighted here. That a lot of the comments are similar in structure and word. And, I do mean similar. Almost verbatim. This is not random chance, nor the thoughts of complete individuals. It is an advertising campaign with artificial intelligence and scripting, paid third-party agents, which eventually turns into an echo chamber. Again, if you can repeat the lie enough times, people will believe it. You will notice that some of the accounts of real people will be of those heavily invested in keeping their paychecks, who have been blackmailed to promote the lies, mostly bottom feeders like Freemasons or Knights of Columbus, and the like. You will notice that many of these comments just so happen to be from accounts created within the sphere of the COVID narrative. You can see that these sock puppet accounts and their deranged handlers absolutely love parading around their fake illness, like clockwork, as if it's their identity. That seems odd, doesn't it? Well, not when you consider it's artificial intelligence and people getting paychecks to do it. Just look here, a person tweeting all day, every couple of hours, about her fake ailment. So-called cancer survivors never bragged and talked so much about their condition before, yet here we are, the new fake survivor story. A lot of these third-party agents selling long COVID are crisis actors too, used in psychological operations elsewhere. Do not be fooled, Satan has a lot of puppets that have sold their soul for $1 or some online clout. Remember, those scarce 6 videos that mainstream media played non-stop of people in the hospitals telling everyone they need to get vaccinated at the beginning of COVID, telling people they wished they were vaccinated and now they were on a ventilator. Yes, those crises actors are the same ones sitting on Twitter and all social media. It's theater. Any real person who is stupid enough to believe in the COVID narrative and professing that long COVID is real, is also a hypochondriac, who loves their victim mentality. These people usually have multiple mental disorders, diseases from sin, and are on pharmaceuticals. You won't find many comments leading the reader to believe that anyone vaccinated will get so-called long COVID. Actually, you will just so happen to find the opposite, that it's the so-called unvaccinated are the ones who get long COVID. That is the takeaway from these false testimonies. There is absolutely no one mentioning the other side of the story, at all. This is by design, as you can tell. This is deliberate perception management. Almost all the accounts professing long COVID just so happen to be pushing the fallacious Jesuit-controlled Trump bad man narrative or sympathizers with the false Jesuit-controlled Ukraine narrative. Satan and Rome along with their agents deceiving the gullible hordes have to keep propping up the system. They are desperate to cover up and pacify or distract and deceive the masses with their failed unscientific attempt at whitewashing away inoculated symptoms, like neurological disorders, that are a result of the inoculations and not long COVID. How can you have long COVID if there was never a virus in the first place? to Satan's hive mind deceivers and workers of iniquity out there, who are part of this garbage, and the cowardly shadow keyboard warriors, like the ones who stalk and harass others online, promoting COVID lies, understand this: your day will come, and is approaching fast. You are directly responsible for ruining other people's lives, even causing some to commit suicide, because of your lies. You're on thin ice, and the Lord Jesus Christ shall be under it when it breaks. You shall be plucked up and cast into the fire, like those usurpers who came before you, never to be remembered again. Hear this, you generation of vipers: how can you escape the damnation of hell? Hell is also for whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Revelation 22 verse 15 and Revelation 21 verse 8. Something you now have a full rap sheet of, among other things,